Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwandner and welcome to the Art of Nonverbal Selling. During the past 25 years, I've studied countless sales calls and videotaped and analyzed hundreds of interactions between buyers and sellers. What I've discovered is that most salespeople get so caught up in the verbal part of the sales call that they don't read or respond to the buyer's nonverbal signals. Dr. Morabian at UCLA found that only 7% of our feelings and attitudes are communicated with words, 38% with our tone of voice, and 55% non-verbally. I found that doing a 20-minute sales call, buyer and seller exchange over 200 non-verbal messages. The question is, what should we focus on? And how should we respond? To make it easy on ourselves, we can divide the body into 5 major nonverbal communication channels. The first channel is the face. A friendly face shows that the buyer is opening up to us. But as you know, facial expressions are not always genuine. In fact, buyers often wear a mask to hide their true feelings. The second channel are the buyer's arms. Closed arms may show that the buyer is guarded or defensive. The third channel are the buyer's hands. While facial expressions can be easily manipulated, we're often unaware of what we communicate with our hands. Open and relaxed hands are always a positive sign. The next channel are the buyer's legs. We want to observe if their legs are crossed away from us, which may indicate a guarded and defensive attitude. The last channel, the body angle, you'll see that the buyer is leaning away from the salesperson, another sign of caution. Now, is it necessary to read and analyze every nonverbal signal? No. That would be counterproductive. Here's a simple and effective way for managing the important nonverbal part of the sales call, the traffic light system. In a way, the buyer's body is telling us how to move forward with our sale. Fortunately, we don't have to learn more about psychology, but only about strategy. And here's how it works. Let's first talk about green signals. A buyer with a friendly facial expression, relaxed hands, arms uncrossed, legs relaxed, and a body angle directed towards you all indicate all signals are green. The buyer's body language says, go ahead with what you're doing. There are no hidden obstacles at this time. And go ahead and move forward with the sale. Let's talk about yellow signals. Here's some typical yellow signs. A steepling gesture, a sign of superiority. In sales, many times we see self-touching gestures, like the hand on chin. What do these signals mean? We can't know the exact meaning, but we do know that here's an obstacle preventing open communication between you and the buyer. The buyer won't tell you what it is, but the body language says, here's an obstacle, proceed with caution. Like in this example, crossed legs. It's very important for you not to mirror the buyer's yellow signals. The best strategy is to ask an open question and listen carefully so you can get the buyer to open up. It is very important to discuss the hidden issues before they become a real stumbling block to your sale. And that's where we see red signals. Red means that the buyer is getting either more indifferent and tunes out or increasingly aggressive and angry. In that case, you must act quickly before it's too late to respond. Your best strategy to red signals is to stop what you're doing, send green signals, and immediately redirect your approach. In this scenario, the salesperson responds with green signals. He leans forward and shows open palm gestures. When you express understanding of the buyer's feelings, chances are that the buyer will open up again. On your next sales call, pay attention to your customer's body language. Use the traffic light guide to make your counter moves. If you see green, proceed. If you see yellow, ask open questions. If you see red, stop and redirect your approach. Successful salespeople sell more with their eyes, and so can you. They communicate green signals throughout their call, and they close the sale when the buyer communicates green. Practice the art of nonverbal communication to make more money than you ever thought possible.
Think about your last sales call. Was the customer leaning forward or backward in his chair? Was she smiling at you, but at the same time, did she have her arms crossed? Did his desk present a barrier between the two of you? During a 20-minute sales call, approximately 800 nonverbal messages are exchanged between seller and buyer.
Together with you, I've just been so
You
busy.
know your product. You know your presentation. Your goal is clear: to get the sale and to create a satisfied customer.
It's been crazy, so I'm sorry.
But your verbal skills don't always lead you to the sale. Why? Because you often focus too much on what is being said. If you fail to pay attention to the nonverbal signals, you can create a wall between you and your prospect. Scientific research proves that we communicate 55% of our feelings and attitudes through nonverbal expressions, 38% through tone of voice, and only 7% through spoken words. Salespeople who maximize the impact of that 55% by reading and responding to their customers' body language will have a significant competitive advantage.
Keep up with the volume.
Misinterpreting your customer's body language can often lead to lost sales.
Oh, I like that's very nice, yeah.
Great.
He's ready to buy this.
Well, if you don't have any other concerns, what do you say we talk delivery dates?
What if I pay all that money and it isn't compatible with our equipment?
If I may show you one more thing. So, do you feel this will work for you?
This sounds great.
Yeah, I think
I want this.
I'm gonna do what we need. I just need to run it by Brad, as I mentioned.
He's not as interested as I thought.
Final say so.
Well, I'll get out of your way here. Maybe if I can just leave my card with you. Appreciate that.
No, it's not a problem. Hey,
Thanks.
You can avoid these nonverbal mistakes, improve your observation skills, and learn to interpret major nonverbal signals and their meaning to your selling strategy. To successfully manage and control a sales call, we must become aware of our customer's body language, aware of our own body language, and manage to advance the sale and our relationship with the customer by applying the most appropriate verbal and nonverbal skills. When we use nonverbal communications techniques together with professional selling skills, you can identify and overcome negative nonverbal signals early in the sale.
Why don't I sit over here so we can go over our material together?
Respond faster and more accurately to buyer concerns.
Sherry, why don't we develop a quality assurance standard that matches your requirements?
It all begins with how you read your customers' true feelings and attitudes, feelings that they may be unaware of or trying to hide. Monitoring the buyer's nonverbal signals starts with a receptive state of mind. The ability to read the customer's age, ethnicity, energy level, and personality, as well as the immediate environment, helps you respond instantly, appropriately, and successfully throughout the sales call.
go ahead. All right, thanks. I got somebody in my office. I'll give it to you. Susan, good to see you again.
It's nice to see you too.
Scanning is simple because there are only 5 major channels of nonverbal communication: face, body angle, arms, legs, and hands.
Pay all that money and it isn't
Observing a single gesture or focusing on one channel alone may not give us enough information, but scanning all 5 channels will provide us with vital clues about our customer's state of mind, expanding our awareness of his or her true feelings and
I'd like to
attitudes.
show you how beacon printing can take
An upright posture or body movement directed toward you is an important clue, signaling the sale is headed in the right
If you can
direction.
achieve that, there's no reason not to do it. I really like
That stuff.
Conversely, when your customer leans back or away from you, he may be sending a negative message. Your buyer's face can be a puzzle. People often mask disinterest or disagreement behind a friendly smile.
That's been my experience in other stores.
Some buyers are trained to frown when they hear any price, a simple but often effective nonverbal strategy designed to get a deeper discount.
You're not going to be able to beat that price anywhere else.
Skin color, such as a sudden flush or deepening redness, can indicate anger or embarrassment. Where your customer puts her arms, how she moves them, and the intensity of her movements can give you vital clues to your selling strategy.
Fairly high production schedule.
How you doing?
Likewise, customers often cross their legs away from you when they first sit down next to you. Then a few minutes later, you both find yourselves mirroring each other's body language.
Goodness.
However, the most revealing and reliable nonverbal signals are expressed through our hands. Relaxed hands and open palms indicate positive feelings.
Keep up with the volume.
Clenched fists indicate the opposite. We're often unaware of self-touching gestures, such as hands on chin, ear, nose, arm, or clothing. These silent messages often indicate anxiety or tension.
Today, I know that you are very busy.
On your next call, focus on your buyer's hand gestures.
And I have a Syrah.
While most people can easily control their face, their hands will reveal the buyer's true feelings.
My customers seem to...
Remember, a single gesture may be insignificant.
If you sign this here...
What's important is to observe all 5 channels to find clues to whether your customer is reacting positively to your sales approach. Massive desks are visual barriers. It's hard to read your customer's body language in this setting. Sitting next to the buyer puts you on a more equal footing where the atmosphere is more congenial.
Last week.
Remember, the objective of a sales call is not to walk away with a psychological profile of the customer, but to close the sale.
I do.
If you sign this here, you're getting the best quality product, at the best price, backed by our guarantee.
To master nonverbal selling power, we need to learn to read and interpret the customer's nonverbal messages and understand their meaning to our selling strategy.
Please have a seat.
Thanks for meeting with me.
Just as a traffic light tells us to go, proceed with caution, or stop, the buyer's body communicates similar messages.
Try to get,
Green signals indicate that the customer is open and receptive to what you're saying. Your best strategy here is to move forward with your sales call.
breaking down.
Here are typical green signals. Your customer's body is leaning toward you. His face is friendly and smiling. His arms and legs are relaxed and uncrossed. His hands relaxed with palms open. You're on your way to making a sale.
Well, if you don't have any other concerns, what do you say we talk delivery dates?
I don't know where the corporation's going.
Yellow signals warn us to use caution. They suggest there is an obstacle preventing open communication with our buyer. You don't want to guess the nature of the obstacle, but you do want to uncover what it is. Here are typical yellow signals. Your customer leans away from you. Her face tense, doubtful, frustrated. Her arms and legs crossed, signaling caution.
Talk to you further back.
Her hands clasped and fidgeting. Yellow signals are silent obstacles that must be removed before you can close the sale. Don't ignore the body language of your customer when it indicates guardedness, frustration, tension, or doubt. What would be your best strategy for handling yellow signals? First, be sure your body communicates green signals.
Had many problems at all.
Second, ask open-ended questions to get the buyer to open up.
Just how important is it to you to increase speed while reducing overhead?
Well, obviously it's very important to me, but what's probably more important to me at this particular juncture is making sure that we stay within our budget.
Third, once the unspoken objections have been addressed, continue to display green signals and use open questions to encourage your customer to open up even more.
Upgrade the equipment while keeping...
If we fail to respond to a client's yellow signals, it's very likely that they'll turn red.
Listen, your last delivery was a week late. You cannot expect any more business from me unless you can guarantee on-time delivery.
I'm sorry about the late delivery.
Red signals alert you to stop. You are now facing nearly insurmountable barriers, and you need to repair the relationship first before you can move on with the sale.
The cause of it was that the replacement shipment didn't go out until after the holiday.
Red signals show that the buyer is becoming increasingly aggressive toward you or increasingly withdrawn from you. So remember, to enhance your selling power, the first key is to pay attention to your customers' nonverbal communication channels. The second key is to interpret the signals like a traffic light that shows you the way to the sale. The third key is to handle yellow signals early before they turn into red signals. How? Instead of reacting defensively to a yellow signal, respond positively with openness in a thoughtful, professional manner. A simple, open question will show your customer that you care and that you're prepared to deal with any obstacle to your relationship or your sale. As you ask the question, be sure that your own body language signals green. You don't want to become the obstacle in the buyer's mind. In order to manage nonverbal communication in sales, we need to recognize that nonverbal signals always precede spoken words. Body language comes first.
Really not in a position to spend a lot of money on.
As a keen observer, you can catch a negative feeling before the buyer is able to verbalize the feeling. Here's how you easily remember your nonverbal strategy. F. Focus on the customer's nonverbal expressions throughout the call. I. Interpret the signals. R. Respond with open questions, unless you see green signals. S. Send positive signals. And T. Test the customer's attitude before you close the sale. Let's take a look now at how we can apply nonverbal communication techniques together with professional selling skills in a typical sales call.
Yes, he is. I have a 2 o'clock appointment today.
Your name is?
It's Susan Taylor from Beacon Printing.
Okay, Susan, have a seat.
Great, thank you.
The one response to a sales call that you can prepare for in advance is stress. A simple relaxation technique is deep breathing. Another good technique to strengthen your inner confidence is creative imagery. Use your imagination to visualize what could happen during the call, the worst buyer reaction, and then the best. This gives you an opportunity to screen your reactions and imagine your own verbal and nonverbal responses. If you're well prepared and relaxed, you'll be exhibiting green signals from the moment you enter the buyer's office.
Come on in.
Hi, I'm Susan Taylor.
Miss Taylor, right on time. Have a seat.
Sam Lakewood is sending out yellow signals. He won't even come from around his desk. Remember to scan your customer and smile.
I'm Susan Taylor, Beacon Printing.
Yes.
Remember we spoke on the phone last week?
Yes, yeah.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for taking the time to see me today. I can see that you are very busy, so I won't take up much of your time. Now, as you know, our company can provide you with innovative solutions to your printing needs. We can help you with things like...
He's older than I am. Better tone down my energy level a little.
We can cut down your printing bills, and we can increase overall quality.
Well, if you can do that, I'd be interested.
I did a little research, and I looked at some of your printed sales literature and catalogs.
Notice how Susan doesn't mirror Lakewood's yellow signals. She asks an open question to draw out the customer and to diagnose his needs.
Are you developing this in-house, or do you use an outside firm?
We've been using L&M graphics for our sales literature and our catalogs.
Yeah, I'm familiar with L&M. We've actually just printed an annual report that they designed. So are you happy with their services?
Oh, yes, they've done a very good job for us.
Notice how Susan tilts her head slightly. She leans forward and uses open hand gestures that signal green.
Of all the services that a printing company can provide to you, what would you say are the top 3?
Well, on-time delivery would be number 1.
Keep eye contact and don't mirror any yellow signals, like that frown.
Oh, yes, they've
Susan
done a very
listens,
good job for us.
nodding in rhythm with Sam's speech pattern.
And price would be 3rd. A few of
Susan continues to encourage Sam Lakewood to describe problems he had experienced. She uses green, open-handed gestures in response to his yellow signals.
You bet.
And you probably don't want to go through that again.
No, I don't want to go through that
He
experience.
seems to be relaxing, getting interested. Now let's introduce some new ideas.
Mr. Lakewood, I really appreciate you sharing this information with me.
Susan leads right into her presentation, stating benefits, using persuasive eye contact, and continually scanning her customer.
Once you turn a job over to Beacon Printing, 10 pairs of eyes watch out for you, so you get the best quality. And it all starts with inspection of the paper that you've selected for the job.
But your price is too high.
When it comes to objections, Susan keeps responding with green signals, acknowledging Sam's price objection.
Now let's take a moment to talk about that. How do you compare the price?
Currently, we're getting our catalogs done at $145 a thousand. Your
Right.
quote is $158.
Are you aware that our quote does include this 5-color process, a coated cover, and a better grade paper sample? Let me show you a sample. This is our die cut.
Oh, that's nice.
He likes the quality,
very nice.
and his body signals green. Let's go for the close.
And last time you mentioned that you wanted to mail 220,000 new catalogs, is that right?
Yes.
And you do like the coated paper sample?
Yes, very much.
Great, great. Don't you think our company deserves a chance to prove to you that we can meet your high expectation for quality and on-time delivery?
Why not? Sure. I'll give your company a try.
Fantastic.
Nonverbal expressions are the emotional signposts guiding your way through the sale. If you allow body language to come first, you gain the competitive edge. Nonverbal selling power helps you enhance the relationship and advance the sale. The first step is to focus on the customer's body signals, the 5 communication channels. Second, interpret what the customer's signals mean to your selling strategy. Green means go, yellow means caution, and red means stop. Third, gain the customer's trust and confidence by responding with open questions. They're designed to get the customer to open up. Fourth, make sure that you send green signals throughout the call. You can train yourself to be open and accepting to your customers. Finally, appropriately. Our response is critical because the best tool to influence our customer is our own body language. Customers communicate their true feelings and attitudes through 5 nonverbal channels: face, body angle, arms, legs, and hands. We need to scan all 5 channels to understand our customers' true feelings and attitudes toward us and our proposal. Like a traffic light, we divide our customers' nonverbal expressions into green, yellow, and red signals. Here's our first exercise. We'll look at 8 selling situations. Your task is to read the buyer's nonverbal signals. Take notes and write down the signals and your best verbal response. Let's see how well you did. This buyer's eyes are averted. He's frowning. His head is tilted away. He is signaling yellow. Ask an open question. This customer's face is red. He is leaning away from the salesperson. His pointed finger and his angry facial expression indicate a red signal. Don't argue. Show understanding. Work at restoring the relationship before you move on. This buyer is looking away from you. Her hands are clasped. Her shoulders are raised. You're dealing with signs of tension and worry. She communicates yellow signals. Answer her questions truthfully and ask open questions to uncover her true feelings. This customer's arms and hands are open, palms up. His body is leaning forward, legs uncrossed. The face is relaxed. The buyer is signaling green. That's a sign to close the sale. This customer is leaning away from you. His hand is pulling at his neck. His facial expression shows doubt, a strong yellow signal. You need to respond to the obstacle with open questions. This customer is leaning away from you. Her shoulder is raised against you. She's pulling on her arm. Her facial expression indicates a strong defensive attitude. Increased withdrawal is a red signal. You need to acknowledge her feelings, express understanding, and create positive involvement. This customer's facial expression is friendly. Arms are uncrossed, hands relaxed. A green signal. It's time to ask for the order. This buyer's hand is raised. His thumb is covering his lips. His facial expression indicates doubt, a yellow signal. Your best strategy is to answer the buyer's question and follow up with a probing question to test the buyer's attitude. Remember to use the first acronym for developing your nonverbal strategy. F. Focus on the customer's nonverbal expressions throughout the call. I. Interpret the signals. R. Respond with open questions. S. Send positive signals. And T. Test the customer's attitude before you close the sale. Let's get started with our second exercise.